Hey, Buck, thanks for being with us at press conference. And hello to Angela as well. I mean, that was just, you just had everybody eating out of the palms of your hands as per usual. I was just curious to see if, you know, some of your homespun commentary would be lost in translation via Zoom. But in fact, that was not the case. Nice job.
That's why I brought her. God bless y'all. Hey, I will tell you, must be a slow news day there. What's going on in the baseball world?
Oh, just you know, some guy wearing number 11 in New York. But that isn't even who we're going to. I got to ask Angela. I got to ask Angela a question, Buck. I'm sorry. She sat there patiently for an hour and a half and didn't get to answer. So, Angela, I'm going to bring this to you because Buck brought it up in the press conference. You were keeping the charts in A-ball in the Florida State League? How did that come about?
I actually started at Noniana. You know, one, being a newlywed, you probably do more things that your husband asked you to do.
Exactly.
But I mean, he just said, I have this stuff. And yeah, we didn't have computers. That's how we're aging ourselves. We were really, really old. We're aging ourselves now. But he just said, could you, do these charts? And I just thought it was something simple. And as the year went on, it got more and more. And then you couldn't get behind on it. And we didn't have Amazon and all those things to deliver pens. I'd get out of pens and have to try to find a place to go buy a new pen. But I did start it. So, I mean, I did do that for him, but I'm not going to opt for that. I'm glad they have analytic part.
Errol, don't let her kid you. She can remember the pen colors of each pitcher. She was rattling off Troy Evers, and she was rattling off Royal Clayton and Mike Christopher. She hit them all. Rodney Imes, what color they were. So we had to look at it. Maybe we were ahead of our time.
Little bit, but now, you're right in time is where you're at now. Now, last question for Angela, then Buck, I got a few things for you, but last one for Angela. Angela, I know you picked out the blue because that is popping, and I know good and well Buck didn't pick that out. Am I right?
Yeah.
He went in his closet and found his thing. I went in mine, so we just matched.
All right, hey, I want to talk to the manager real quick. So, Buck, great press conference, but I do have some baseball questions for you. You brought one thing up in the press conference. You both might be able to answer this one. And it was like, okay, it started when you get that wake up in the middle of the night and the brain starts working. So I want to ask you, what do you go to? What do you start thinking about when you know, it's starting, it's time to get that manager mind going again? What do you think on?
Players. It's about gathering information. It's about talking to people that know. I was just trying to find where I can gather information to give us shortcuts. Looking at the roster, looking at where we are with the prospect status, and asking somebody when's their arrival, if you think that when they're going to impact our club, and trying to but I think the whole focus, one of the questions I asked Jeremy yesterday was our pitching coaches, okay, I'm gonna go down the roster, you tell me definitely on the club, on the cusp, whatever, just so I can get some of the things that we know are going to be there, but trying to bring myself up to speed as fast as I can. And relationships, about, we're really driving on the coaching staff now, and just, the things that I'm responsible for and nothing else. I'm curious about a lot of the things, especially analytically, because quite frankly, we never had one so we had to figure out, we weren't allowed to have one, and we had to make our own, so to speak. So there's going to be an asset there that I haven't had. Hey, Matt, full disclosure now, I come home one time and I go, where you been? She goes, I went to a movie with Harold. Harold loves movies. So let me get this right. You were in a movie theater with Harold. So Harold, what'd y'all see? You remember?
The Matrix.
The Matrix?
Yeah, man, The Matrix. Oh, man. Absolutely.
The two cranky old guys in the balcony watching The Matrix, throwing popcorn around, making wisecracks were Harold and Buck. Hey, I got a question for you, Buck, because among the things that we wrote down in your presser, one of them really stuck with me when you said that sometimes change is good, but don't make the mistake of confusing change with a lack of respect for tradition. It's a great statement. Can you think of an instance where those things might have conflicted with each other for you in Baltimore, in Arlington, and how do you deal with that when it comes up?
But, the bottom line is what helps us win a game? That's what the job description is. This isn't, when I first came into New York, I was too young and people thought that, and I was going to try to reinvent the game. I remember surrounding myself with people like Clete Boyer and Frank Howard and Willie Randolph and, people that really, quite frankly, gave me some credibility, and I'm not sure if I'd ever been able to have success without Don Mattingly embracing me, but, and you're picking those brains, you'd be crazy not to, but I think, wow, when I'm seeing these pictures, you're taking me completely off subject. That's a pull, but I think every situation is different. But tradition is special in our game. But and today we're kind of fighting whether the changes are good for the game. But my job is to win baseball games instead of evaluate what's good and what's bad. Okay, here's the rules. Okay, we got this 3-hitter rule. We've got this X number of guys on the roster. We got, regardless of why and how and where it's going to go, that's not my job anymore. My job is to try to get to the end game within the way that it's being done. And along the way, if we can be a little innovative about maybe trying to find a better way, but it's about winning games. Last team standing. Everything's about how does that make the Mets better. I was kidding Billy's, he calls me midnight the other day in Baltimore, and I said, okay, I'm up. Yep, you're up. How do we make the Mets better? He said, okay, you got me at hello. Let's go.
Hey, Angela, I recognize this guy now. He's a lot different than that guy on TV. He's back to the managerial Buck. So tell me a little bit of something about Buck the manager compared to Buck the TV guy.
He usually calls me a little earlier than he does after, when he was on the road. But, whether he's doing TV or whether he's doing managing, he's going to have passion for it. And so you really don't see a total difference because whether he's, anything he does, he's going to do with passion.
No, you're right. He's dialed in. Buck, last question for you, okay? Connecting with the players. We're in such a unique time. And obviously you can't contact players right now. You're a guy, for those that don't know, every day during batting practice, you walk around, talk to each individual player, see how their day was, what they're thinking, where they are. So I know you would be doing that in the off season. How and what changes when you finally get that opportunity now with a new club and coming out of a lockout when you can talk to players? What will you do?
Well, I'm hoping, Harold, that I wake up tomorrow and we've got this thing settled. And first of all, and I've had the experience of being in 2 springs in a shortened spring training. And it's a challenge. I think, one, you're attacking being ready for different scenarios for spring training. It's out of your control, so why worry about it? So you got to just be ready for what might be coming. I think the one disadvantage is that other teams already know their players and have a relationship, but it's also an advantage for me. When you think about players at home that may not have had such a good year for the Mets last year, they're going, wow, I'm getting a fresh start. This guy's got a clear brain about everything about me, and I got a chance to start over again. I would think that would be kind of comforting for a lot of guys, but I do miss being able to really connect with the guys right now, but it's the cards that are dealt. There's nothing I can do about it. Nobody else can talk to their guys. I think the big thing is trying to upgrade yourself where you are medically on players, and you can't really stay on top of that now. You're hoping, talking to our guys, I gave them a lot of programs when they left, knowing that this might come. Our guys were very proactive about it and making sure their players understood some things they were going to, especially guys coming off medical issues. But it's, I'll tell you the other thing, Harold, I noticed you're asking me different type of questions now that I'm doing this than we used to talk about, so both of us have changed a little bit.
Yeah, I've evolved. Ask Matt. Matt loves my questioning.
Hey, you know how Harold has evolved? He has asked some very cogent, pertinent questions today. So, we're all growing up a little bit, Buck.
There's a lot of things you got to worry about. Harold Reynolds ain't one of them.
Buck and Angela, we appreciate the time. Congratulations on the opportunity. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to the both of you, and I know that we'll be in touch soon. Way to go.
Congrats.
Thanks for your help there. Thanks for keeping me from stepping on my tail there. God bless you all. Hey, keep the seat warm. We know the shelf life of managers.